The 4-3-1-2 is possibly the most fun formation, which is actually meta at the same time, you can use on FC24. I love it. I've always said any formation where you have a cam behind two strikers, I always like to call it like the Holy Trinity. It is so fun to use, especially the way I use it with one overlapping fullback. It really is hard for your opponent to defend. And you see here the structure of the 4-3-1-2 beautifully. The left back overlapping, then of course the right centre midfielder trying to play a ball in, but then a good winning it back. Plays it lovely through to Giroud. Beautiful. For your cheapest and most reliable place to buy FC24 coins, please check out mmoexp.com. Remember to use the code WOLF at the checkout for a massive 5% off your order, especially with Team of the Season now here. Now YouTube, I really have fallen in love with the 4-3-1-2 over the last few days. It is an amazing formation. I really like the fact that it is a narrow formation, and having that cam behind the two strikers is making the formation and custom tactics so good to use. So without any further ado, the custom tactics that I am using in the 4-3-1-2 is like so. On the defensive style, it is of course your bread and butter balance. Yes, you probably already know by this point, I'm not interested at all in a press after possession loss or a pressure on heavy touch at this moment in time. I don't think they're very good or a viable option to use from minute one. I definitely do feel like they have their uses in the game. So like maybe in the last 15, 20, 30 in-game minutes from like the 60th minute mark, if you're trying to get back into the game, you're chasing a lead and your opponent's kind of like playing a bit slow. They're definitely good from that perspective, but if you use it from minute one, your players will be absolutely knackered from half time. So that is why I much prefer balance, a balanced style where your team presses the ball to the middle of the pitch and your team's shape is neutral. Definitely the way to go, YouTube, and that is what I'm using. The defensive width though, this is rather interesting, and you will notice a bit of a running theme over my more recent custom tactics videos anyway, that I have now started going quite narrow with the defensive width, and there is a reason for that. There is method behind the madness, YouTube, believe you me. I definitely feel like when we are more narrow, we're nice and compact, and we're defending the width of our 18-yard box, we are definitely more harder to break down. We are definitely conceding less goals and giving up less opportunities. So for that reason, I've gone all the way down to 35 on the defensive width. It's definitely working, and the old saying, YouTube, if it's not broke, don't try and fix it. So I'm going to leave it until it doesn't work anymore, and then as soon as it doesn't work, you will know that I will let you know. The defensive depth though in the 4-3-1-2 is like so. I am now back to using the 55 depth, but there is a little bit of a personal input that you can put on it, if you kind of know what I'm saying. If you want to be more aggressive, which I definitely feel like a lot of you will be, and that is absolutely fine with me, YouTube. You want to be more aggressive, give it a go. I would probably recommend like a 61 or even back to your bread and butter, the 71 depth. I've kind of veered and steered away from the 71 depth now, YouTube. I don't really like it as much as I did like a few weeks ago. So because of that, I stayed well away from it, and I've gone back down to the 55 depth. The build-up, play and chance creation, though, I'm going to go into zero detail on that, YouTube. You already know what it is at this point. It is, of course, balanced and direct passing. Like I like to say, your bread and butter. Not going to go into any detail. Just use it. Trust me, it's broken. Now, the offensive width... Oh my God, what have I done there? Now, the offensive width in the 4-3-1-2 is a little bit down to personal preference. I am back to leaving it just on the preset 50. And there is a reason for that, which I'm now going to tell you, that it is a narrow formation. And I love that it is a narrow formation, but I don't want it to be too narrow. And also, I don't want to go wider, so then we're kind of losing the fact that it is a narrow formation, because that's what makes the 4-3-1-2 so good and definitely a viable option. So that's why I'm just leaving it on 50, YouTube. But I really like where the players are in the 4-3-1-2, so I don't really feel it's necessary to change it. Simple, really. Players in the box, though, of course, it will be on 5 on your like your default settings. I don't know why I just spoke like an idiot there, but yeah, it will be 5 on your default settings. I up it from 5 to 6, so I go into 6 with the players in the box. Very simple, YouTube. When we break it down, the more players that we have in the box, the more likely we are to score a goal. It's so simple when you just break it down like that. Now, the corners and free kicks, when you load into it, will be on 3 and 3. I take it down from 3 and 3 to 2 and 2, just to stop us getting counter-attacked on from our own corners and our own free kicks. Now, the player instructions in the 4-3-1-2, sorry. This is where you're going to earn your bread and butter, believe you me. Now, On both the strikers, you can probably already guess what they're both going to be on, because I have my strikers on the same player instructions on every single set of custom tactics videos I've done for probably the last 18 months. It never really changes with both the strikers. And the reason for that is I think there are two key aspects that you need to have on your strikers on FC24 to make it a really good, and for the strikers to be really good. And that is, of course, the bread and butter, stay central and getting behind. Very simple really, YouTube. The stay central, I want both of my strikers to stay in them central areas of the pitch. And then the getting behind, I want both of them to make penetrating runs in behind, because especially in a formation like this, in the 4-3-1-2, where we do have a middle cam to operate in, it is very important to have your strikers making penetrating runs in behind, because your opponent will have to manually track the runs to like stop the ball going over the top. And when your opponent does that, that will then leave a nice big gap in that middle of the pitch for our cam to have a lot of space, pick up the ball, have a finesse shot, have a shot, play a lovely through ball, whatever you want to do with the cam. So that's why I have both of my strikers on stay central and getting behind. And that brings us nicely onto the cam and YouTube. The middle, well, the only cam, the cam in the 4-3-1-2 will be your most important player on the pitch, believe you me. Now, I have the cam on stay forward and get into the box for cross. To stay forward, I want my cam to stay in that number 10 and that cam position, very simply. And then the get into the box for cross, like I said on the custom tactics aspects of getting into the box for cross, the more players that we have in the box, the more likely we are to score a goal. And I want my cam to have a lot of freedom to get into the box when he or she wants to then get a nice lorry load of goals and assists. That is a tongue twister, by the way. Nice lorry load of goals and assists. Try saying that really quick. It's like a tongue twister. But yeah, that's why I want my cam on stay forward and get into the box across. The left central midfielder and the right central midfielder, though, YouTube, I actually leave on completely default player instructions. Apart from the defensive position, I do put both of them on cover centre. So of course, balanced attack, balanced crossing runs, normal interceptions, stick to position, and then cover centre. And that is exactly the same on my left central midfielder as well. Balanced attack, balanced crossing runs, normal interceptions, stick to position, and cover centre. The middle central midfielder, though, is definitely the one you want to use as kind of like a number 6, kind of like that Rodri role, which is ironic because I do, of course, have red Rodri. That is what you want that middle central midfielder to do. The middle central midfielder's job in the 4-3-1-2 for me is to get the ball, win the ball back, and then give it to the better players and shield and protect that back four. So because of that, the player instructions you're going to want to use on that middle central midfielder are stay back while attacking and cover centre. If you really want to as well, you can try the aggressive interceptions, which I've been experimenting in a lot. I like it, but I do just think normal interceptions does work better. And this is where you can have a little bit of personal input as well, YouTube. So me personally, I play with my right back on stay back while attacking and overlap. But then I have my left back on join the attack and overlap. So think of it very similar to the 4-3-2-1, but the players are kind of just set out a little bit differently. That's what I want. I want my left back being the one that joins the attack and provides us that width on the overlap on that left-hand side. And then I want my right back to kind of like play as like an inverted fullback kind of thing, where they're basically kind of like a bit of a third centre back, really. They stay back while attacking, giving us that nice bit of defensive protection. Both centre backs, completely default settings, YouTube. Stay back while attacking, normal interceptions, and stick to position. And then last but not least, my goalkeeper is on comes for crosses and sweeper keeper. And that right there, YouTube, is my brand new 4-3-1-2 custom tactics for you. If you did enjoy this video, you know what to do. Drop a like for me, drop a comment down below, and if you can please hit that subscribe button to my channel, that would mean the world to me. We did just hit rank 1, mainly using the 4-3-1-2 as well, and as you can see, we did get red Giroud and red Dybala, and I will be using them out a lot more. So yeah, thank you for watching, YouTube. Peace out. One love.